as if the 2026 draft did not need any more firepower or excitement, Alijah Reinus is back and playing basketball, which I'm just really happy for him after all the bullshit he's gone through recently. And man, is he a fun player to watch. The skill he has on the wing, legit wing size, like 6'6", 6'7", long arms, hits him with the pump fake. And I saw a tweet, I don't remember exactly who it was from, talking about how Shea uses his ankles as like steering wheels basically to split through gaps. Reinus has a little bit of that, obviously no one's Shea, but Reinus can kind of like plant his foot and then explode through this gap because he has the ball control, and then he flips up a touch shot in traffic. And his ability to shake defenders out of their shoes with his handle and then finish these ridiculous off-balance shots at the rim is really, really special stuff. I don't know if they're really calling carries at this point. Like, I don't know if they're ever gonna get back to that, but Reinus' like manipulation of pace, using hesitations, body language, and he's got like weird footwork here. He goes right, left, scoops it with his right hand and like spins it in softly off the glass. And I think everyone's seen this play in his first game where Reinus 360'd around the dude and laid it in, and it really is just an incredible showcase of his body control, balance, and just touch where he can spin in midair. Actually, it's crazy because the spin actually worked. Like, he was not going to be able to jump through this defender, and we'll get to that later when we talk about some of his limitations. So he just goes around him and scoops that in while he's falling back down to the ground. Reinus is a fascinating player. Just wanted to kind of make sense of what his season has looked like so far and what I'm thinking about him as a prospect. So like, subscribe, comments, all of that good stuff. I'm going to be posting more on YouTube, and I really mean that this time because I got laid off. So anyways, shout out to y'all. I appreciate all of you. Alijah Reinus, incredible foul baiting craft where he's so like methodical with his pump fakes. He almost has like the Embiid slow pump fake gene, where I think a lot of guys like rush their pump fakes, but the slow exaggerated ones really seem to shake defenders out of their shoes. And Reinus is great with like the foul baiting cheese, leaning into guys, drawing contact, and when he attacks decisively off the catch, the advantage creation is truly unbelievable. I do think he's one of the better advantage creation prospects I've scouted at the high school level, at least, and I like the decisiveness here, right? The quick hesitation, cross back over, spin back to the left. Like, he's so fluid changing directions, but the finishing is going to be a very major concern. He has amazing touch, of course, but he has to rely on these difficult touch shots so frequently just because he can't get any lift off the ground. He's not crazy physical at the basket, and he isn't very strong, which obviously, you know, he's a very young player, but the athleticism is definitely not that great at this level. But when he attacks decisively off the catch, and he doesn't get much air off of that 1 foot, like it's solid, but man, like he gets knocked on his ass and can still scoop that ball in. Really, really impressive touch. And he's definitely not a perfect closeout attacker, and I think this playing with confidence and quick decision making is definitely more of the exception for him than the rule at this point. Good job by Reinus here attacking the closeout. He very often like picks up the ball too early, and he really is just like super raw in terms of feel as a scorer and playmaker. He is, to me, like one of the lowest feel wing prospects in the class if he were to come out. I don't know if he will. We'll talk about that later, but definitely wish he would take an extra dribble, especially because he has the handle to do it instead of just trying to scoop up a bullshit shot in traffic and end up getting blocked. And even on some of these possessions where good things happen, he's gonna drive to the rim and score. Like, his touch time is unbelievably high. I wish I had on ball rate numbers for college, because Reinus's would be through the roof. He really does dribble the air out of the ball, and sometimes he makes absolute magic happen. I mean, I don't know if I'd call this absolute magic, but he can get around a drop defender. He has enough speed. He's not like incredibly sudden, but he's so fluid and flexible as well. Again, we see him bending right here and getting beneath the kind of shoulders of the defender here, scooping with his inside hands. But yeah, I don't know. He's just this kind of like clock eater who really, to me, it is definitely a work in progress. playing decisively off ball. And he seems like kind of robotic and predetermined in a lot of his decisions, where Alijah just kind of like probably knows the play is to like bounce it to number 2 right here, but he's not really reading the help defender. The pass isn't accurate. It definitely seems like he's just like trying to kind of run the play without really considering the situation. And of course, all of this is like not crazy uncommon for a player who's just getting into the swing of things, middle of the season, building chemistry with his teammates. So it's understandable that these like little things aren't perfect for Reinus yet, but decision making has always been an issue with him going back to high school and AAU. And we see shots like this that are just like, yeah, he can make it and he is like a good mid-range shot maker, but I just don't want 24 seconds on the shot clock, pick up the dribble right inside the 3-point line, fade away over a contest. Great offensive rebound right there, but it's just not good process by any means. And you can see the difference on a play like this where Reinus jab steps, takes one dribble, and pulls and hits the mid-range. He's been really efficient in that area, like I said, on a small sample size. And I do think the shot making is really going to determine the ceiling for Reinus, because he has the size and the length and the fluidity and the skill to get to whatever shot he wants. Can maybe argue he should have passed this. We'll talk about his passing in a bit, which is pretty weak, I can't lie, but oh my goodness, the beautiful little Dirk leg fadeaway, very, very impressive stuff. And you can see why he tries some of the crap he does, just because he has the incredible shot making verve that he can hit these like leaning and one deep mid-range shots. It is quite impressive to watch, and he just has this like street ball touch playmaking gene that it's hard to explain without just like watching. Like, very late on this decision to me, playing the hedge. Like, Jacob Kofi is wide open in the middle a beat or two earlier, tries to like look off. I guess he tries to like kind of look off this defender. He is a decently manipulative passer, which I appreciate, but then like corrals it, sidesteps to the left and drills a 3. Like, I don't understand. And he has great movement, shooting, touch, but even though Alijah isn't shooting super well from 3 right now, 21.9%, I do have faith in him long term there, but the statistical profile definitely needs to improve. And it's definitely, to me, seems like Alijah should and will be a 2027 player. It makes just too much sense. It's not going to be as strong of a draft as this one, at least at the top. And in terms of players with this level of scoring efficiency, sub 40 true shooting on 26 usage, of course the sample's so small, but it's going to have to get better, right? The successes here are defense first players. Jared Vanderbilt, Herb Jones, Peyton Watson, DeJounte Murray, even like Avery Bradley, and then there's like Michael, and then there's injured guys, right? Michael Porter Jr. played 3 games at Mizzou, and that's of course the case with Reinus right now. Obviously, MPJ wouldn't have finished with a 43 true shooting, and I don't think Reinus will finish with a true shooting as low as he has right now. But there's other like kind of concerning statistical stuff. Very low assist numbers, doesn't turn the ball over, and I think a lot of that is because he just likes to shoot, and his handle is obviously exceptional. But as we talked about, like the far twos and then the finishing, like we talked about, I'm certainly worried about what it's going to look like as a finisher. But I do think he is a capable passer. The like feel and decision making part of it, and the processing, reading help is going to need work, but he can kind of make like a nice pick and roll pass over the top right here. His height is very advantageous as a playmaker. I think his best pass is probably this like overhead skip pass that he can hit, and Reinus being like 6'6", 6'7", long arms, he can access these passes across the court that a lot of players simply can't. So even if Reinus isn't necessarily able to like read this pass right here, where is, an elite passer would throw the ball right here, Reinus waits another second, but he is kind of like looking off a little bit, which maybe fools this help defender a smidge. And anyways, Bacon Razar attacks off the catch and finishes right there. And this was probably the most impressive pass that I've seen Reinus make this season. I watched all but the Rutgers game in full, and I watched highlights, the clips from the Rutgers games. I could have missed a pass in that one, but really impressive here. This is the kind of quick processing that I really value. Catching the ball quickly anticipating the double and then firing it to the cutter. It's not like lightning speed, of course, because he has to like take a beat and it's almost picked off, but it's definitely good stuff for a player who I don't consider a particularly strong passer like Alijah Reinus. And the rebounding has honestly been kind of a surprise to me. Like, I don't particularly recall him crashing the glass particularly hard in AAU, even though the sample was always so small. Like, I think he played like 17U games, at least the ones that are logged and recorded, but he's been pretty active crashing the glass, using his length to grab rebounds. And another area where I've been pleasantly surprised at moments is his defense, where Reinus, this was a particularly impressive sequence to me. USC up to, I believe they just subbed him in for this possession, misses a pull-up jumper, which would have iced the game, and instead of, sulking or moping or whatever, immediately gets on defense, blows through the screen, and is going to shut down this drive with 5 seconds left on the clock. Like, I don't think Reinus is a good defender right now or anything close. I also think he's played 5 games and it's really tough to adapt, but he's got the tools. He's got the agility to like glide through this screen. He cuts off this attacker, and then he uses his length to avoid fouling. He's just kind of a wall contesting at the rim right there. He had another clutch point of attack defensive rep in the Iowa game, this time against Bennett Sturts, and he's not the most technical point of attack defender. You can see his feet are kind of always all over the place, but he can sit down, move, and I don't think he's ever going to be like a shutdown on-ball defender, but he's clearly capable in terms of athleticism and like fluidity, at least against, players who aren't like super crazy dynamic on-ball creators. And Reinus can use his length to impact plays as well. He's going to sprint over to the left side of the court, ends up blocking a shot right there. Like, on the grand scheme of things, Reinus is not a good defender right now. For my film-based grading, which I talked about on the channel before, out of, I believe, 73 prospects, Reinus I have second to last in defensive grade. But honestly, somehow relative to my expectations, like, there have been some big plays. And of course, that takes into account all of the negative plays, like getting screened off by his own man. That could also be Baker Mazar's fault as well. And of course, a lot of this stuff can improve with time, but his ability to take on screens is definitely a work in progress. And USC in a lot of teams like peel switch this. They'll have number 2 take the guard, and we'll have Reinus take number 1 right here. He doesn't seem to realize that before it's too late, and it's a wide open layup. And there's going to be a similar play, maybe not this one, but the next one. This one is just, oh yeah, this is the one that I was thinking of, where, again, Reinus is going to get beat baseline, just reacting a little slow. Number 2 is going to slide down, and Reinus, in a perfect world, sticks to number 22. That's not what happens, and Wisconsin gets a wide open pick and pop 3. And while I don't project Reinus to ever be a great defender, I love this like high leg kick. Honestly, he's like already off the ground, and Reinus karate kicks his leg up to deflect the ball. Like, that is a legitimately valuable play to me. That's awesome. I love that. I don't think Reinus is a good defender by any means right now, but it's not for a lack of like want to, which was definitely a question I had coming into college, and I'm liking at least a little bit of what I've seen. I try to see the silver linings in life just generally, and there are a lot of silver linings with Alijah Reinus early in his career, where I'm not like crazy valuing the 5-game statistical sample or anything. And particularly the offensive film, even though the shots aren't going in, is impressive, and a lot of what I liked from Alijah in high school. Feel and decision making and defense, and I think most importantly maybe to what level his shot making really is, because to me his pathway to being an elite offensive player in the league is that shot making being elite, because he's always going to be limited vertically. I don't think he's ever going to be the best passer in the world, but if he can just be a crazy shot maker with the advantage creation and the handling, we're maybe cooking there. But with the kind of questions that Alijah has, I would like to see him go back to school, get more reps. I have no idea what's going to happen. I don't know. It doesn't seem like he's going to come out, but you never know. I think he should definitely return to school. But let me know what you think and what you thought of Alijah so far. And again, let me know what kind of videos you want to see in the near future. And thank you all for watching.